Welcome to the Right Hand Roadmap, the podcast for seconds in command of founder-led companies. I'm your host, Megan Long, owner of Second First. In each episode, we show you the path to success on your journey as the #2 leader in entrepreneurial companies. I am so happy you are here. This episode is coming out September 10th, which means after the next few weeks, we only have 1 quarter left of the year. Today, we're going to walk through some exercises to do in order to make the most of Q4 and finish the year strong. First, let me share my philosophy towards the fourth quarter. Q4 is not the time to sprint to a photo finish hitting all of your current year goals. There is a habit a lot of professionals have of coasting through the summer. Q3 is when kids are out of school, we're all taking summer vacations. I get it, I do. But then we come back for Q4 feeling behind, doing everything we can to get back on track. The problem is that this then cascades. So it sets you up to then be feeling behind in Q1, and you're starting the entire next year trying to catch up. So Q4 is the time you take a really honest look at the past year and set yourself up for success for next year. I'm not saying you stop working for this year. I'm saying if you put all of your attention and focus into the final 3 months of the year, you'll hit January 1st feeling behind and on your heels. This is how we start to shift our mindset into long-term strategic thinking. So I want you to do an S.W.T assessment for the current year so far. S.W.T is strengths, weaknesses, and trends. This is a scaling up Rockefeller habits tool that I actually prefer to a traditional SWOT. So all of you are probably familiar with a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I prefer this S.W.T analysis because it pulls in trends that the industry, the market, and customers are showing to take advantage of trends you're seeing. Like, what are significant changes in technology, distribution, product innovation, markets, consumer and social trends around the world that might be impacting your industry and your organization? After you complete your S.W.T analysis, we're going to look at 4 categories: operations, talent, finance, and business development. For each of these 4 categories, I am going to give you a handful of questions. If you go to secondfirst.com/21, you can download a copy of all of these questions so that way you don't have to sit there and take notes. So if you're driving or multitasking or whatever, that's totally fine. Just go to secondfirst.com/21 and you can get a PDF of these. So let's start with the first category of operations. Where have you been experiencing bottlenecks this year? What processes are too time-consuming or too manual that need to either be documented or automated? What in your delivery of products or services is taking too long? So where do you need to tighten up timelines? And finally, are your vendors performing at a level that you need them to? Based on your answers to these, what can you do in Q4 to tighten things up, shorten timelines, and increase efficiencies? Again, our focus is to make improvements in Q4 to set you up for a wildly successful next year. Next is talent. We discussed bottlenecks with operations, but where are you experiencing bottlenecks with your team? What areas do you need to either staff up or train up? Who is due for a promotion next year? And what do you need to build them up to that? And finally, where do you need to top grade talent? When you have clear goals for next year, rather than wait until a state of the company meeting in January, like we all do, share that with everyone as soon as you can. The sooner everyone is on the same page, rowing in the same direction, the better. Your team wants to get excited about next year. How often do you hit mid-December and it feels like everything in the business comes to a screeching halt because everyone's already started taking off for the holidays and they feel like the year's over and there's nothing really more that can be done? Well, if they know that they're already working toward new goals for next year, there can be a renewed sense of motivation. All right, the next category is finance, and this is pretty straightforward. So, are your prices where they should be? Are your margins where they should be? And is your payroll where it should be? So, most goals that you're going to have as a company are going to be revenue centered. That's really easy for everyone to understand. But I always say revenue is the vanity metric. So, use Q4 to ensure that your profit levels are where they should be, or at a minimum, have a plan for how to get them where they should be by January. And then last is business development. What referral partners do you need to build better relationships with? Start scheduling to take them out in Q4 so that way you're set up for next year. And then also, what are some strategic partnerships that might get you to your next year goals faster? What do I mean by this? Okay, I mean have fun brainstorming and getting creative. If you sell a physical product, let's say in this example, you sell planners, like the calendar book planners. A possible strategic partnership would be to go to universities in your area and ask if you can bundle your planner in with new student welcome packs for freshmen at a discount. So even at a discount, it's a revenue boost for you. You would add hundreds of units to your sales for next year. And every freshman would now have a copy in their hands, creating possible repeat customers. Maybe you could even sell them in the school bookstore if they want to get another one. So nothing is off the table in thinking of ways to supercharge your sales for next year, but Q4 is going to be the time to set these up or get them in motion. Remember, recurring revenue brought in Q1 is worth a lot more than recurring revenue added at the very end of the year in Q4. Finishing the year strong means you have a running start at the upcoming fiscal year and hopefully won't feel the time crunch of having to hurry up and meet your goals next December. To find show notes and links to anything mentioned in this episode, visit secondfirst.com/21. Be sure to subscribe to catch future episodes and leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. And remember, you don't have to navigate being a second in command alone when you have the right hand roadmap.